Aloha, good morning. This is Karon Davis of Karon Realtor International. Aloha Friday, hello. And we are actually doing our video today at our wonderful listing at Kahala Beach Apartment, Unit 353, which currently had a huge price reduction down to $550,000, 3-bedroom, 2,700 square feet. It is a leasehold property, but if this property was fee simple, it would probably go for 5 or 6 million. So it's a wonderful opportunity. Feel free to reach out to me for the details on the unit, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. But I thought today what we could talk about is I'm getting quite a few calls from clients I've known over the last 30 years being, in the business, and, people thinking, should I sell? Should I not sell? What should I do? What are your next plans in life? Where you want to position yourself, living full-time or part-time. And I thought it'd be fun to talk about some of the questions I'm currently getting. And, first of all, how should I price my home in the luxury market in Hawaii? Well, I'm very fortunate that our company has a huge research department now. And after being in the business over 35 years, and of course with Doug, we really can tell statistically what the market's doing and how that affects our clients' luxury properties. We look at market trends for certain areas, expectations of buyers buying luxury properties, but a lot of factors go into pricing and of course the supply and demand of a certain property. And I remember we were selling a property in Kahala, absolutely stunning. They have put a lot of coal wood in their property, but this day and age, people want white and vanilla white more than the rich woods. You can certainly put some rich woods in your home, but it still needs that light, bright decor. So there's features of homes that we help people change to get top dollar with what's going in style, and that's very important with kitchens and bathrooms too, on how you can get top dollar. One of the second question is, what's the current demand for luxury homes? Well, I always believe there's a very strong demand for luxury homes, and if it's priced within reason for that demographics of buyers, it's very, very active. Some of the, we have a low inventory of luxury homes, even though the inventory is increasing, but when people are spending quite a bit of money, they want a lot of their want lists, taken care of when they buy that special property. And it could take a day, it could take 3 months, it could take 6 months. Just recently we sold a home up in Hawaii Low Ridge, and that took 6 months to get the home that my client really could see themselves in and dream about. And through the process of looking for homes, buyers are definitely saying, well, this is an important feature, this isn't, and they get a realistic view of what to expect in the market. And through that, working with a good luxury broker, they can help people go through those choices that they have. It's very, very important. But timing and marketing strategy, when you're looking at what's the current demand, is huge too. Like I know we're coming into the season of Thanksgiving and Christmas, and quite a few properties that we represent are probably a mainland buyer, and this is when people start to visit the islands, or even coming on before those periods. So we allow realtors with buyers from overseas or the mainland to preview for their clients, so they're ready to get busy once their clients get on the island. Another third question, what are the top features they're looking for? Spacious lanais, people love lanais, love ocean views. But luxury buyers love walking into a property not having to do a lot. So when we go to list a home for sale with our seller, we really bring in our vendor list that we review every single week in our office meetings to see who's doing a good job, who's not, adding certain vendors. And so, moving conditions are very, very important for luxury buyers. People don't have a lot of time to be managing, painters, contractors, etc. So we try to help them with that also. How long can I expect to have my property on the market? That is a very, very common question. It can be very confusing at times. But what we try to do is look at examples of how long certain properties took, and some properties can take up to 2 years. For instance, in the market, over $20 million market, you'll see properties, we've only had 4 sales, I believe, in the last 10 years. However, you know, people do have substantial more wealth today than they did have 10 years, but that property needs to have a lot of architectural features that are very, as they say, in right now if they're going to sell in a shorter amount of time than a couple of years and be priced aggressively for what's on the market. And oftentimes what you have to remember in the super luxury market, those buyers aren't just comparing Hawaii, they're comparing properties from all over the world, or even just on outer islands. So we look at what other outer islands are selling, you know, their properties for, and what features the buyers are looking for. In terms of being aggressive in marketing, it's very important to be, you know, have all the social media outlets right now. A lot of people are just looking. It's also important to be in magazines. It's also important to send out postcards to a neighborhood where people are already sold on a neighborhood. But very importantly too, which we at Caron Realty International pride ourselves on, is having a very upper end connections and networks and databases. And I've worked on that for over 30 years, and people know us, and we always present our properties to them, or who might they know that know someone. So a lot of networking goes on behind the scenes of the luxury properties right now. Another question is, very often, you know, what should you look for in a luxury real estate agent? And I popped some things down here. They're often looking, you know, definitely someone experienced in high-end properties, definitely someone who's got a reputation, knowledge of the local regulations, and a proven track record. You know, what is that person's track record? And oftentimes, like I always say to my clients, is one thing to be marketing and show people everything we do in marketing, but it's those, what should I say, those things that aren't written down sometimes. It's like, do you follow up with a phone call, a sign call? Like, for instance, we're sitting here at Kahala Beach Apartment. After we adjusted the price, I was on the phone with 10 people who had previewed the property with their clients to see if they were interested in having another look at the property. So really, you're more like like an agent for your seller, like a sports agent or somebody who's out there really, you know, going above and beyond, making phone calls to get their property successfully sold. And we're going to have one more question that we're going to cover, and then we're going to do part 2 next week, because there's so much to talk about. So the last question here today I wanted to talk about, and we've covered some of it, you know, what's involved in marketing a luxury home. And, you know, definitely a very well-defined marketing strategy, globally, you know, locally, and also, you know, mainland on the, you know, US mainland. Is very important to have different marketing plans. Definitely virtual tours, good videos, amazing photos. Everything from a visual standpoint has to be above and beyond what anyone sees, where a wow effect is put into everything you do to market, and also the follow through and knowing who to talk to. But there's so much that's needed, and definitely I would say some signs behind where you got your price from. You just should never pop a price out of a hat. You should back it up with statistics, sold. So when someone asks you where and how did you price this property, you know exactly how that property was priced, very importantly. Well, I'm going to let you go now and enjoy your Aloha Friday and your weekend. And part 2 will be next week, and we'll do that in another one of our stunning listings. And much mahalo for listening to me today, and talk to you next week.